Hey guys, Chad here from Take It or Leave It, here with a recommendation for you for a psychological thriller / possession horror film called Mother May I. Here's the synopsis. When Anya starts behaving like her fiancé's recently deceased mother, Emmett must confront his deepest traumas to free his fiancée from this bewildering possession. Alright, so let's get right on into this. Why do I think you should consider putting this on your watch list? Well, first and foremost, what's there not to say about Kyle Gallner and Holland Roden in this film? I mean, holy shit. This film rests on their shoulders and they provide outstanding performances. I would have assumed that Sanctuary would take the cake for Best Duo of 2023, but I'm not sure anymore. Seriously, Holland Roden as Anya, who I've been a fan of since seeing her in Channel Zero, she has so much to juggle in this film and she does it flawlessly. But Kyle Gallner's performance as Emmett is as good, if not even more impressive, as he's given a less juicy role and has to really make the most out of it, and I think he does this in spades. Their performances alone are worth the price of admission in and of themselves. Secondly, there's a pretty compelling mystery that kicks off in a very subtle way. There's no big inciting incident to speak of, things just kind of start to change with Anya's behavior, and as a result, it's perplexing. I mean, we are just as confused and perplexed as Emmett because of this subtle approach, and I think that was a really cool thing to make us feel just like he does. But the writers drop pieces of information along the way that result in a number of twists and turns that make you question the legitimacy of what occurred. And these twists and turns keep coming up until the final seconds of the film. And the way that they subtly introduced the mystery and incorporated these little twists and turns along the way, it just hooked me throughout the film and also had me thinking about the film long after it was over. And lastly, I love that many horror movies today have so much depth to them. They have what's engaging and strategically distracting you on the surface, but there's something at the core of the film that's bubbling upward, and it's the real focus of the film. Horror movies like The Babadook and Hereditary both come to mind, considering that there's terrifying stuff on the surface, but both films mostly have to do with grief at their core. Mother May I is similar in that way, except the main underpinning is unresolved trauma. And as much as I enjoyed the horror and thriller elements of this film, I was equally as captivated by watching what happens to a couple with their own respective unresolved trauma causing their relationship to slowly spin out of control. And as the best of these films tend to do, the core starts to bubble up to the surface and merge with it. And for this film, in the same vein as body horror, in which the threat and horror comes from inside our bodies instead of externally, the threat and horror is psychological in nature and comes from inside our protagonists' minds. And ironically, this makes things even more dangerous and thrilling and intriguing, as the source of the problem, their minds, is also the only source for finding resolution and relief. This dynamic makes for some pretty compelling drama, suspense, and mystery, and I was there for it. One word of caution, I'd say that this film is much more a psychological thriller than it is a horror film. There are horror elements in the film, there are some scenes that definitely creep me out and even scared me here and there, but it's definitely much more a suspense and psychological thriller kind of film. And that's not to say that there's nothing paranormal happening in this film. I'm not going to say one way or the other whether there is or not. I'm just saying that the film tends to focus on the resulting trauma being tapped into as a result of funky things happening. This film definitely has elements of Relic, What Lies Beneath, Goodnight Mommy, and it even had some It Comes at Night vibes going on from time to time. And if all that sounds interesting to you, then I definitely recommend that you add Mother May I to your watch list and give it a shot. But those are just my thoughts. Take it or leave it. What do you guys think? Have you heard of this film? Does it sound kind of interesting to you? Let me know down in the comments section. Let's talk about it. And as usual, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'm Chad from Take It or Leave It, and I'll check you later.
Check you later. Check you later.
Hey, man, get off my case.
Oh, man. Chicks don't want to hear that shit.